Today, Bitcoin price update. Are we entering price discovery? Or is it a double top? Ethereum, Solana, altcoins in general, Tesla, AI, gold, silver, uranium price and more. But first, I will give you 5 insights that are even more valuable than Bitcoin, if you can imagine that. Last week, Elon Musk and Donald Trump sent angry X posts at each other. Elon tanked his own company by 20%. Those posts cost $200 billion. Now, yesterday he wrote like this: I regret some of the posts about President Donald Trump last week. The whole market is holding its breath over this. If they have a permanent fallout, not good for tech markets. What I will teach you now, if you have any kind of written communication in your profession, be it email or messaging apps or X posts, then this will move the needle for you. Earlier in my career, I used to write angry emails. I was passionate about my work. I felt emotional when someone was trying to stop things that I knew were good and necessary, and I liked to write. One time I wrote one of those. It was to 2 people who had blocked something I wanted done. I sent the email to one CFO and one HR director with CC to our highest boss and a few other people. I wrote that they should talk to each other. It was a frustrated, sour, irritated email. Then our highest boss called me and said, "Don't send the emails like that." He said it more politely and with more words, but that was the message. I was right about the subject. It wasn't about that. Just like Elon is probably right that you can't run a massive budget deficit when you're already 36.9 trillion in debt. Because the whole country will eventually go bankrupt or we get hyperinflation. But my boss explained to me that it's not about the subject matter. At the time I had a leadership coach, Caroline, one of the best in the world, and I asked her about it. Then she told me this, which I will now tell you what to do instead. You write the angry email. You open your email program or your messaging software or whatever you use. You write how the other person doesn't understand anything, how wrong they are, and how only you know better. You bloody populist politician. You don't care about the country long term. It feels amazing to write that email or X post. Save it in your draft folder first, then you get up from the desk, you go get a coffee, you feel great. You silently repeat some of the great sentences from that email. Epstein files, have a nice day, DJT. Such a great punchline. Brilliant! Your irritation is now gone. You're now smirking to yourself over how great you are. And you go back to your desk and you leave the email in your drafts folder. You don't send the email or message or post. You've already gotten it out of your system. You don't need to actually send it. So here's the rule. Information, written communication like email or message is great. Here's the document you requested. The number is 25. Customer just sent an updated time plan as attached. Positive emotion. Great job finishing the project on time. Scope and budget. Well done. Please thank everyone involved. Again, email is great. Do CC all the bosses. But negative emotion, negative feedback, strong disagreement. That person is wrong. He's an orange asshole who went back on his word to contain the deficit. Don't write. Don't write. Instead, walk over and talk face to face. If that's not logically possible, pick up the phone, like my boss did. Your own words will be more respectful, and you might understand the other person's perspective, where they came from. You're less likely to make enemies. The outcome is always better. Save the email to the drafts folder. That tip moved the needle for me. It will for you as well. It would have made a difference for Elon Musk and Donald Trump too. They surely both want the best for their country. They would have had a better outcome by saving those messages in the drafts folder. And with that comes insight number 2, that is also enormously useful for you. Turns out, the richest person in the world and the President of the United States don't know stuff that I learned when I was 35. Turns out you don't need to be great at everything to make it to the absolute top. This is true in companies, corporations, and in business and every other professional aspect. You just need to be really great at one or a few things. Even to become a CEO or founder. For Elon, it is his mechanical engineering skills and an unbelievable sense of urgency that translates into speed. If you think about CEOs or business leaders that you know, you'll realize it's the same. They got there because they were great at something, not by being great at everything. So forget about multi-skilling and job rotation. It's a trap. Become great at something instead. And what should that something be? The world is changing, guys. It really is. And it's changing month by month. Yesterday, ChatGPT released the O3 Pro model. It's even better, even smarter. For my development work, the default 4.0 model or Grok 3 or GPT-4 Turbo often doesn't really work. I'm at the front line, so there's no real pattern to copy from, so it can't figure it out. But the O3 model usually can. It often corrects code which I have developed with previous tools. O3 can say that, you've forgotten about this edge case, if the input is this and then the function is invoked twice, then this can happen. And I'm like, oh wow, yeah, you're right. Only it was you who wrote it last year. Now O3 Pro is out and we can use it for $200 a month. Google VO3.
Okay, so we're in the middle of an active firefight. People are screaming and Greg's building a damn snowman.
You have to shift from building knowledge to gathering resources. Something AI can't copy. This video up here is one of my most important videos ever. If you haven't watched it, do so. If you've already watched it, watch it again after this one and make sure that you take action accordingly. Like today, Insight 3, gather resources. Insight 4, I feel that the best option for most people here to do that is to learn investing. So, good choice being here listening. Hope you learned something useful. And I'm very happy with my own actions. I'm super happy with the Larsson Pro 3 launch, and you've been too. Enormously positive feedback. I feel we have the best analytics tools in the world. Or maybe you can't say that. Probably the best analytics tools in the world. Number 5. Learn this from Elon Musk. His sense of urgency. There is great power in being faster than the rest. The whole job market will change. Don't wait to shift your own focus until everyone else finally got it. And in investing, that is the job, to arrive at the consensus of other people before they do. Robin Sharma probably said it the best. Ideation without execution is delusion. Insight number 5. Take action today. The only action I'm going to take right now, which I haven't already taken, is to go indoors because it's getting hot. Bitcoin price. I analyze it like this. This was a legit breakout in a strong uptrend, and the dip below this range high looks like a fake to me. It liquidated people who opened new high leverage longs on the breakout, like this guy who lost all of his $100 million. But if you go on closed candles, it's less than 5% below the horizontal level. And then it went again. And this 106,100 level that we followed for so many months is definitely the right one to track. If we zoom in, you see how it again coiled below that level before this second breakout. They become self-fulfilling. I'm not the only one who can spot it. That also means that that's the level to fake if you're a massive market manipulator. So can it fake a second time? Of course, anything is possible. But as of right now, we are holding above the key breakout level. Larsson line is gold. Everything is looking great. But is this a double top? No, it is not. Not at this point. A double top is only confirmed if the low between the tops is breached, which would be below about 100k for this formation and below about 74k for this bigger formation to turn into a double top. Can that happen? Anything is possible, guys, but then we deal with that then, if it happens. Right now, it's not a double top. I highlighted this bottom formation in ETH versus BTC earlier. That still holds. And now Ethereum versus USD has also had a breakout. You got the alerts in Larsson Pro 3 if you're on that. Debatable little bit here exactly where the breakout is from, but no hesitation that it is a breakout with Larsson Gold. Everyone's saying that there will never be another alt season. I think they are wrong. It always feels like that. And this development here in Ethereum could be the first signs of that happening. I will monitor this. We're not gonna miss it, guys, when it happens. The weakness in Solana continues. We had a solid bottom pattern here, but even that didn't hold. Could be at support here, going back to 2023. Could be that this will hold, possible, but the burden of proof is really on the buyers here. Because a change in the power dynamics between Sol and ETH has definitely happened. No doubt. Price is not only about adoption and fundamental metrics and the best technology. Price is a function of people buying and selling the thing. And they can do that for all kinds of reasons. Usually it has to do with making money. Not because they want to support the best technology or team or company or something. We identified good events in Tesla lately, and trend is still up, despite Elon's post. Microstrategy, same. Happy I could give you this, guys. Here Larsson flipped gold at 35. Here clear horizontal breakout with Larsson Gold at 181. And here the channel breakout at about 315. Nvidia, since this very clear inverse head and shoulder in January 2023 at about 19 and gold flip at, what was it, 22 something, Larsson is still gold. The AI trend simply punched through all these trade wars and World War III fears. And if you have any doubts about the value of the new Larsson process, just ask your kids, who are probably playing Roblox right now. Check the absolute clarity of this entry identified, up 100% since that event. And remember this inverse head and shoulders in silver. Larsson, so boring, only up 40% from breakout. No. In commodities, leverage is a valid strategy. And now we had another breakout. We don't have liquidations, scam wicks in the same way here like in crypto. Who do we ask about commodities? That's right. Hello, Mark. How are you doing?
Sorry. Hi, CTO Larsson. I'm doing excellent. How are you?
Spectacular. What is going on with silver?
So silver the last couple of days has broken out from a sideways pattern, which was between about $30 to about $35. And in doing so, it is mimicking the move which we have seen from gold over the last couple of months, where gold this year has run up about 30% with a slight pullback and has reached new all-time highs. If we look at silver, silver is still about $15 away from its previous nominal all-time highs, not inflation adjusted, and is now playing a catch-up move with gold. Obviously, I don't do in predictions. I don't know what the future brings, so I don't know if this continues its run up or has an intermediate pause. But I think over the longer term, silver as well as gold are going to be in a very bullish multi-year, probably decade timeframe.
And how about uranium?
Yeah, uranium is kind of in its second upcycle. In end 2020, it started a bull run, and the main reason for that bull run was that the price of uranium was lower than the cost of production. And so obviously there are only two outcomes. When the price of something is below the cost of production, either production will stop, or in case of uranium, the lights will go out. And so what we have seen is that uranium went up from $40 to a little bit over $100, where the incentive price for mine construction and production was at that point in time around $65. Since it reached its peak, uranium has trended down the past year plus and has reached basically a bottom. And the bottom is purely in the spot price. If we look at the term price of uranium during this market up and downswing, the term price has gone up only from lower prices to what is now $80, where it has been moving in a sideways trend recently. My expectation, and I'll come back for the reasons why, is that we will now see a gradual increase of the uranium price to at least over $100 based on the tremendous demand fundamentals which are there in the market. Over the last couple of years, what we have seen is that China is building and restarting as well as starting reactors with about 10 a year. We see globally close to 70 restarts over the last couple of years, and we see significant life extensions of existing uranium plants. On top of that, due to the war between the Ukraine and Russia, we have seen a tremendous bifurcation in the market. And over the last couple of weeks, we have also seen policies from President Trump, which essentially create tremendous focus on uranium production as well as nuclear power plants, where the intent is to at least build 10 plus nuclear power plants over the next 5 years. In addition to that, we have seen all the news from Google, Meta, where they are either procuring power or even nuclear power plants for their data centers to support the AI build out. And then last but not least, we see a tremendous focus on the SMR, small medium reactors across the world. And so bottom line, the demand picture has completely blown out of proportion compared to what even anybody would expect in 2020. As a result of that, if we look at the amount of uranium which has been procured this year by utilities, it's about 25 to 26 million pounds in the first 6 months of this year. If you would annualize that, that would be about 30% of the normal demand. And so the expectation, again, I can't promise that this will be next week, in 2 months, but at least for the remainder of this year, there will be a tremendous demand for uranium in the market. And that's why I would expect significantly higher prices, both in the term as well as in the spot market.
This video is education, not financial advice. For financial advice, seek out a licensed financial advisor in your jurisdiction who can take your personal situation into account. Cameco has made new highs here, both on the USD chart, and we got an alert here in Larsson Pro comparing Cameco to the S&P 500 index, which also made new highs here. Do you think it's the commodity companies or the underlying commodity as such that's most interesting here?
If we look at Cameco, we got invested in Cameco in 2020 when it was below $10. Again, at that point in time, the thesis was basically around the price of uranium having to increase. The thesis now has changed from spot price to the term market. And as a result of that, and specifically in Cameco's case, the fact that they are an end-to-end nuclear company, especially with the acquisition of Westinghouse, due to which they can also build nuclear power plants and they mine the uranium, they have really become an end-to-end service provider. Obviously, that value we will see back in the stock evaluations.
As you know, Mark analyzes and updates a pro portfolio commodities for us for free in Larsson Pro 3. And if you want more in-depth commodity analysis than that, Mark has his own service at therealcoops.com, and as a CTO member, you have a special deal there. Fantastic, Mark. Thanks for this quick update.
Thank you, CTO Larsson.
Don't fall for impersonators, guys. I have only one website, it's ctolarsson.com. If you're not on Larsson Pro 3 yet, get it here. Course with Larsson is generally closed for new members at this time. Thank you, Tack. CTO Larsson out.